welcome to our project presentation on the Grants Navigator. This is a collaboration between the InnovateMA program and the Massachusetts Executive Office for Energy and Environmental Affairs. My name is Diane Grant, and I'm joined here by my project partner,
Rachel Kahn. So the problem at hand is that finding grants managed by the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs is challenging. This office manages over 85 different grant programs, but the information for these grants is both decentralized and inconsistently formatted. This means users have to spend hours to find out the information they need and often struggle to determine if they are eligible for a grant or not on their own.
This problem is only exacerbated when you take into account the four key constituencies of Massachusetts EEA services. That's farms, nonprofits, businesses, towns, and municipalities. For these organizations, especially when they have limited resources, or maybe you're a farmer and it's your first time applying, it's very difficult to sift through this large breadth of information about grant programs without knowing exactly what you're looking for.
Here's a screenshot of the current site website where all grant information can be found. As you can see on this homepage, there's nowhere that leads users and directs them to where they could apply for grants or where they could find out more information. This means that users have to utilize the search feature on the top of the website, knowing they have to know exactly what they're looking for, narrowing the scope of the discovery.
Our solution for this is a Grants Navigator. It's an AI-enhanced search tool that allows constituents to put into the search bar a key search term, and then it's going to return back to them a couple different grant programs with some important piece of information that help them determine whether or not that's a program they should look further into. The navigator will hopefully be located somewhere connected to the mass.gov website. And the reason we wanted to do this was as we talked to farmers in small towns who were applying to grants, we found that whether they heard about it face to face, talking to someone else, or through an email chain, they always ended up on the mass.gov website as the start of their application process.
Since the EA's annual funding pool for grant programs is always fully distributed, we wanted to measure success based on its impact to its users. For example, we want to make sure that specific grant web pages are getting more visits because people are able to find out about these grant programs, as well as less questions are reaching the program managers because people can find out the information themselves. We also want to make sure that our tool outputs complete answers. For example, Diane mentioned those key pieces of information, and we want to make sure our tool always outputs that piece of information, as well as its ability to accommodate multiple languages that are found within the state of Massachusetts. For accuracy, we also want to make sure that our tool only outputs accurate answers. For example, those deadlines are very important for users, so we want to make sure that everything our tool outputs is up to date and accurate.
So we're very excited to be able to show you a demo today. This is the basic user interface. You see here that you can select what type of constituency you belong to, whether that be a farm, nonprofit, and then you can type in a search term and the search responses are going to appear below. So we'll walk you through a demo right now. You see right as we pull up the tool, you're going to see a pop-up. This pop-up gives some key kind of general overview pieces of information, including that clearing's only available after full response has been generated, giving an example of what a search term might look like, and generally introducing you to the tool.
Over on the right-hand side is this info panel that gives the users a brief overview of the tool, as well as a place for them to leave our team feedback.
And now over here, you see the drop-down has those four key constituencies, as well as another option, which allows you to, as an individual or someone who doesn't belong to one of those organizations, look up grants as well. So the first key term I'm going to pop in here, I'm going to say that I'm a farm looking for composting, kind of a general search, and we're going to see a couple of examples of grants that the tool generates. So here, the first one, Agricultural Composting Improvement Grant Program. It gives back those key pieces of information. We have a very specific deadline right up front there, as well as target audience. This helps me figure out whether this grant program is really right for me and my organization. We also have funding amount as well as match requirement. Match requirement was something that as we tested with people who often search for grants at the state of Massachusetts, they wanted to know that information right up front. Now, next, I'm going to do something a little more specific. Say I'm a nonprofit looking for environmental education grants. Going to pop this in here. Tool's going to return back to us a couple more grant programs as well to really kickstart our search process. This first one, the Environmental Education Grant Program, that gives us something that's very upfront, very related to environmental education. The second one, Environmental Trust, is more general, can cover a lot of different types of programs. And so this really highlights how the tool is creative in giving you multiple grant programs you might not even have thought of that apply to your use case.
For this last search, we're going to pretend that we're an individual within Massachusetts looking to add solar panels to their home. So in the dropdown, I'm going to select Other because I don't belong to those other categories and I'm an individual. I'm going to type in, I want to add solar panels to my home and click search. And the responses generated are going to give me different funding programs available within the state of Massachusetts in order to help me achieve putting solar panels on my home. This will prevent users from having to spend hours searching different websites, going online in order to find what they need. Instead, it's going to be all consolidated on our tool. We also have this Learn More tab at the bottom, which directly links users to the website itself so they can seamlessly transition from our tool to the website itself.
And that concludes our demo. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our project today. We're very excited to see how this project is going to help expand grant accessibility in the state of Massachusetts.
Thank you.